Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Cliff Graves from Train Well Boxing. So I just had my bacon for my breakfast. No eggs today, just a little bit more bacon, and it was scrumptious. Absolutely lovely. I am a carnivore, and I've never felt fitter and healthier. But yeah, today's video is approaching all of this from a different angle, from a historical angle now, from the point of archaeology. You see, in the past, I've listened to individuals running their mouth saying how evolution and 4.5 billion years all stacks up, and creation doesn't. When really it is an attack on this, really. Because to be a creationist does not necessarily mean that your faith and beliefs stem from Christianity. You might be a Buddhist, for example. But besides all of that, there's been several open invitations for these evolutionists. And in particular, I'm talking about carnivore evolutionists. In particular, the ones here in the UK that espouse that, our ancestors ate predominantly a carnivore diet. Now, I'm with them on that, because we know that post the flood, it did all change. And the Creator said, by strife and toil and sweat, we will farm the land. Nothing was a gift anymore. It would all be provided via hard work, sweat and toil. And the point I'm making is, prior to the flood, it does say it here in Genesis, you go and find it, that God gave us every green plant to eat. So, I believe in a young earth. I do not believe in this lies and deceit of 450 billion years. You see, the scientists, they don't even know how they arrive at 450 million billion. Call it what you want. Let's say million. Let's just pluck that one out of the sky. 4.5 million years ago. how they can get anywhere close to giving an accurate timeline of that 4.5, because they don't even know what the divine spark of life was. They don't even know that. Do you? Just be honest. You don't know it, do you? You believe science has the answers, but it doesn't have that answer, does it? Because what was before the somethingness? What was before that divine spark? We're talking fourth dimensional stuff here, which our brains cannot take in because we're not equipped to, and we never will be able to get a grasp of fourth dimensional stuff. Yes, very discerning spiritual people can go into highly meditative states, and we know that historically Moses and other prophets would have done that. But do you understand what I'm saying? Ultimately, it comes down to whatever way you dress this up, whatever way you think about it, you've got to say, well, I've got a fair point. If you scientists have got all the answers, right? You've got all the answers, then tell us. Don't keep it from us. Tell us. What was the divine spark of life? And don't think for one moment it was a Big Bang, because we've discussed that before. No way could it have been the Big Bang, because the Big Bang relies on it. Right, so let's look at different theories of what caused this Big Bang. Gases, somebody has said gases combusting, right? Gas is combusting. Really? Gas is combusting. Oh, really? Gas is combusting, they say. Well, gas is a tangible substance, isn't it? So it doesn't come out from nothingness, does it, into somethingness without it being called creation. So what I'm saying to you is, what was the divine spark of life? There's been talk about, just out of this nothingness, if you can imagine a line of energy. A line of energy is formed out of the nothingness, out of the void. A line is formed. If your gravitational forces pulls that line round and round and round and round and round until that line now becomes a circle. Okay? That circle is now being created, of energy has been formed, which then gives rise to it shooting off to create another line like this. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can all see that. See the line? That line shooting off like that. So one line gives rise to it for gravitational forces going round and round and round, eventually going off at a tangent like that diagram, the sketch that I just showed you. But then on that line, the same thing happens. creates a circle through gravitational forces. So you'll get, in effect, because this line now has made another circle, isn't it, of energy, which will crisscross over that line, over the original circle, which then gives you can see that one there. Now the other tag that I've drawn, which then gives rise to another circle. You can understand what I'm trying to say. And then these points here, I'm going to do. I'll do this in red for you so you can understand. These points here. Points there, those crossover points there, give rise to vortices, which then start spinning off to create even more energy. So over billions of years, all this energy is becoming electrically charged, and it's boom, boom, it explodes in, creating atoms and small particles of matter, which then are pulled together, and over many, many millions of years formulate planets. This is what they are attempting on another thesis, scientific thesis. They are trying to tell us, which caused the Big Bang. If there's nothing there, what caused that original line? Because that was energy. What caused that original line? That's my question. From out of the darkness, out of the void, what caused that original line? And the scientists cannot give us the answers. Well, they won't. They cannot. Because it is untrue, my friends. Completely unfounded. And I've said this again, and I will mention it again. If they're saying that happened 100 billion years ago, how can they quantify 100 billion years when they don't believe in the biblical calendar of BC and AD? So what are they basing 1 year on? How are they working out? Was it 100 billion years, or is that a loose guess? Or was it 93,567 billion years and 3 days? They can't. They can't. So when you get arrogant, pompous, bigoted, rude, arrogant evolutionists, and I'm sorry to say some of them carnivores, running their mouth, espousing this nonsense of millions and millions of years, can you see how ludicrous it sounds? Because they can't quantify it. Oh, they talk about isotoping, proofs it all out. Really? Does it really? Well, today I'm attaching a video, okay, which I think if you watch it, you will be quite shocked from a historical, archaeological, proved out, scientific, definitive viewpoint that what's in here actually is very, very true. Look how thick it is. Look how thick it is. Are you telling me everything written in the Bible is complete lies? Are you telling me there's just not one shred of truth and evidence that this is the truth? Because I vigorously do not agree. So I would like you, even the critiques, I would like you to watch the attached video and think a bit. When you come on specifically here to YouTube, think a bit more about what you're saying and how it actually makes you look a fucking idiot. Okay, so watch the video attached. This is Cliff Gray's Trademark Boxing. Have a great weekend. See you. Bye.